Welcome to the Business Growth Spotlight, where we shine the light and talk with business leaders from all over the world. And my guest today is from Copenhagen. So I'm really excited to be chatting with him today, who share their insights and expertise so we can all grow together. I'm your host, Heidi Schalk. If you're new to the podcast, welcome. We're really excited to have you here. Please stay to the end because we're going to give you a gift for being here. But without further ado, I cannot wait to dive in. This has been a journey for me and my guest to be chatting today. And I'm honored and I feel privileged and very excited to be talking with him today. So welcome Michael Heiberg with Ocean.io to the podcast.
Thank you, Heidi. Great to be here. It took a couple of loops to get here. Let's put it that way. But, that was on both ends, computer things that didn't work and all of that. But finally, we're here. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, we are here. And I always say sometimes when it's more challenging, magic happens, so we're going to make magic happen today, Michael. So Michael, can you kick us off and share with us a little bit about yourself, Ocean.io, and your role within it?
Yeah, I grew up in, I have a computer degree, but I grew up in sales and it was that whole experience in sales that basically led to Ocean. It was you just closed a good account and you told yourself, wish I could get more of exactly this. And that led to later on to the concept of Ocean.io's lookalike concept. That means you can take your ICP, either an individual customer or many of them, and cookie cut them. That means create the exact lookalikes to them anywhere in your territory. And that is really how we started all this. And that pioneered the whole thing into B2B because it was a well-known thing in B2C. Facebook, Google, all of them is doing the lookalike audiences on the digital platforms. But in B2B, it was old industry codes that basically, and it's still in LinkedIn, is basically still industry codes. So coming out with this in 2020 was really pioneering the whole thing into B2B.
Amazing. So, Michael, Ocean.io is helping companies target their ideal customers more intelligently. You shared a little bit, but can you go a little deeper in what makes your platform different from traditional sales intelligence tools?
Yeah, it's all about the precision. It's all about the precision in targeting. We have done two things that is fundamentally different to what others are doing. We have created the lookalikes for companies, but we also created the lookalikes people. That means we have done vectoring of LinkedIn profiles, and we are now able to do a combination of those two things. That means I can find the ideal people who are decision makers within ideal set of ICPs in one go. Instead of doing it in a sequential build-up, we can do it in one go and with very precise. Because if you do title lookups in LinkedIn, you have to do very precise title lookups. We don't go there. We have normalized titles into categories of decision makers. That means you can search for an entire category. And then you get all the VPs and directors and CMOs and all that within that category. And I think the day is over for do exact title lookups, but you can actually do much more intelligent decision makers. That's what AI can do for you. Establish who is it the decision maker in a large company, which is probably the chief marketing officer. In a small company, it's the head of marketing. Yeah.
Okay, so how are you using AI to refine and expand ICPs in ways human or legacy tools cannot do that?
We basically created a vectoring of companies and people. What I mean by that is that every single landing page for a company describes what the company does. We convert that into a mathematical representation, and then it's basically image recognition for landing page. Just to be a little popular here, that means we give you a mathematical representation on 65 million companies. So when you key in, your ICP will find those companies that are more similar to that mathematical representation. That's how accurate we can do it, and that is, that's with very, very high accuracy. And let me give you an example.
Yeah, please.
If I key in a pain clinic in the US, there's I think 37,000 pain clinics in the US. I can find the lookalikes to that. But now I'm looking for specific pain clinics that is specialized in spinal decompression. So I do a lookalikes, and then I do keyword spinal decompression. Then I'll segment out those that have spinal decompression as a treatment on their landing page. That's how these things work. It allows you to really, really dissect into the absolutely niche, if that is your interest, or more broad for all the pain clinics. That's just an example.
Okay, so since we're talking about ICP, who is your ICP? For those listening, going, I want to learn more. Am I the right target market? Am I the right fit? Who is your ICP?
It's basically we are an entire inbound engine. We have put our product on our landing page for everyone to test out, and we see all kinds of manufacturing companies, SaaS companies. We see everyone that is looking for a very specific target audience and wants to be smart about scaling it, and not just throw mud at the wall with a gazillion of SDRs that's sitting there and dissecting bad data. We can do very, very accurate micro-targeting for these companies. And once they try it out, the penny drops. It's a whole new world opening up for them.
Yeah. So, Michael, what role do you believe accurate and dynamic data, you just mentioned data, plays in the success of modern B2B go-to-market strategies?
I think it's what we see right now is their data is becoming a commodity, but intelligent data is not. What I mean by intelligent data, that is when you can put something in a context. If I put in my best customer, the result I get back is a very accurate TAM for those for that audience in the market. You see, that is the context. That's intelligence. Whereas if I just got a broad data set, why would I even think about intent? Why would I even think about contact data before I actually have the right audience? Once I get that with accuracy, then I can actually start to talk about contact data, emails, LinkedIn handles, phone numbers, all that. And because that's the commodity. Contact data is commodity, but putting the right audience in context of who you actually would like to, with very precision, target, that is where intelligence comes in. And I think that's where the whole market has shifted. You still see, and it's shifted from lead generation to accurate targeting. And you've seen that vocabulary changing over time now, but some of the bigger platforms are still in the race for the bottom on pricing on contact data, and I wish them well on that.
What are the biggest challenges? I love how you wish them well. What are the biggest challenges sales and marketing teams face today when trying to scale outbound, and how does Ocean.io help them overcome these?
I think there's a tremendous there's a revolution in go-to-market right now. AI SDRs, smart outbound, automatic outbound, all that is coming into fruition. If I should predict 12, 18 months out, I think we are right now seeing the second generation AI SDRs coming out. I think we'll see a third generation coming out. And I think we'll see whereas AI SDRs were focusing at the top end of the funnel, I think we'll see additional automatic agents sitting along the funnel in order to engage, in order to demo, in order to write contracts and engaging and follow up, mapping out the entire cluster of decision makers within an account and engaging with them. And I see an AE moving more to orchestrating this and being involved when it's really necessary than actually being involved in a demo and everything else. So I think the whole thing, I feel sorry for 80% of the AEs out there because that that is going to be a tough one over the next 12 to 18 months. But the really good ones then understand how to qualify, understand how to add value. It will still be absolutely needful. But the demo jockeys that just do a demo, those days are over.
Wow.
It's coming, and it's coming big time.
Yeah. So Ocean.io is more than just a data provider.
Yeah.
How do you see your platform influencing strategy, not just execution?
The biggest revenue for Ocean is actually our API.
Okay.
That is where, yeah, I know it's quite a surprise for a few, but we have almost 50 data applications like AI, SDRs, and those, Jiva AI, Play, we have Copy AI, we just signed with Explorium. Those are using Ocean's AI inside their application. And I'm not going to take the wind out of Explorium's release in a couple of weeks, but that's really mind-boggling what they are about to release to their customers, where Ocean is the centerpiece on the data side. And you will see some really, and on that note, MCP is coming on big time. So we'll see us start to target audiences based on prompts, and that's happening as we speak right now. And Ocean happens to be a normalized database that can actually do that. So that's why we are being used quite extensively in those applications.
So what trends are you seeing? Let's talk trends, Michael. What trends are you seeing in how SaaS and B2B companies are approaching prospecting in 2025 and beyond? And what should they be doing differently than they're doing now?
I think the traditional roles of SDRs, sales, RevOps for that matter, is changing. I see the roles of a GTM engineer that is basically a bridge between SDRs and RevOps. I see sales moving much higher up into with higher ACVs, or if the ACV is low, it's a fairly fully automated process. I see micro targeting instead of mass targeting. I see my own inbox on my emails getting more and more clever in getting targeting. That means they've done a lot of the prep on who I am and who Ocean is, and instead of just inviting for a coffee meeting, which is ridiculous. So why would I do that?
I agree. We got you here.
Yeah, exactly. But it's like the context is really important, and the context can only be precise if you can do it as micro targeting. And so it's doing micro targeting on scale is where I see the whole thing is moving. And I see the second generation AI SDRs going in that direction as well. Instead of doing 100,000, you still see the LinkedIn post. We did 4 million, emails a week for this customer, but the conversion rate is 0.000 something, and it's ridiculous. It's waste of resources, waste of everything. It's just noise. Whereas the micro targeting on 400 or 500 very specific emails, so very specific, followed up with a cross into the LinkedIn, follow up with direct dials out in order to do multi-threaded, surroundings of very high priced, high intent. Intent is everything here. Accounts and personas is far more interesting. It's not the volume game anymore. It's the smart game.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, things are shifting in a big way, and they're shifting fast.
And it's can you imagine, as I'm in Europe right now, but I actually live in San Francisco, and I was at a conference last week in Europe, in Barcelona, and one of the participants was sitting there. He happens to be German, and was sitting there and telling the audience that no, the space is not moving as fast as we expect. AI is not moving as fast. And it's like, I take a plane to San Francisco. It's like US is so far ahead of Europe in this aspect.
Oh, wow.
And way ahead. And what we see coming out in very interesting, fully autonomous onboarding, demo robots, AI robots, for the lack of it, because it is actually an agent, but it's a fully autonomous learning as they go. This is coming. It's coming big time, and we see all these kind of things coming out. I think we have had changes, and we always have changes, but this is at a pace I never seen before.
Yeah, no, I've seen it too. And just like the last couple of years, and I was talking to somebody yesterday, and I'm like, what I saw 4 or 5 months ago with AI, it's completely transformed in that short amount of time. It's so much smarter. It's so much faster. And let's talk about that. This wasn't even a question I had for you, but now that you brought it up, let's talk about the fear. There's a lot of fear around, and I think companies still, B2B still has some of that fear that, it's going to take over jobs. So can you talk into that a little? It's like releasing the fear and stepping into AI, because if you don't step into it, and I learned that, I was kind of fighting it 2 years ago. And I'm like, if we don't get on board, we're going to be left behind and we're going to be, obsolete. So we have to jump on there, but you also need to let go of the fear that it's going to take over and release jobs.
When we went from typesetting newspapers to doing the entire thing digital, that change took 10 years, but typesetters got obsolete. Okay.
Right.
When we went from coal to diesel engines in trains, the guy that was shoveling became obsolete. Why is it we believe this is not going to happen in AI? It's going to happen. It's the same cycle. Okay. The things that can be automated, the things that is human, that is highly automated, is going to be replaced. But their skill set, there's still a guy sitting in that train and driving it. And that is a more and more sophisticated job. Whereas the trivial things is going away. And the same thing is going to be with AI. The trivial things is going to go away. I can do an NDA just going into ChatGPT, give me a standard NDA covering this, this, and this, and this is what I do for business. Yeah. 10 minutes later, here I have the NDA, fits, and then off it goes. I don't need a lawyer to do that. Right. I don't need an internal to do that. But do a very sophisticated transaction between two companies? Yes, I do. Okay, that's not going to go away. But the paradigm for the agreement might be generated as part of AI. Yeah. But those sophisticated things, and we have always had that. It's just moving into go-to-market, and the SDR. I've said it before. It's a dying role.
Oh wow.
It's a very much a dying role. SDRs, in the end of the day, was a consequence. The number of SDRs were a consequence of bad data they needed to clean up in order to get to accurate data. Okay, if we introduce intelligent data, you have accuracy. That means half of the SDRs are gone, because now you can do accurate targeting. And why do you want them to sit there and dial? You can have automatic dialers. You can have engaging with AI and get the whole flow going without an SDR. Yeah, they're reading from a script anyway. You don't need a human being to read from a script. You can get AI to do it much better, intuitive and learning from doing which thing is going to kick off a meeting. And once they have done 100 of these calls, they understand exactly which things the opening should be in order not to hook up, and how this is what AI does. Yeah. And I see this as just starting. It's starting, but it's coming at a speed that, either you embrace it or you get rolled over.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the message at the end of the day, for sure.
Yeah, exactly. If you don't embrace it, look at me, I have gray hairs, man. It's like, what do you think? Yeah, it's either do or die. Yeah, and if not, then put the green badge on your LinkedIn profile and seek some other opportunity, because that's the speed it's going to go with. Yeah.
I love that. I love that. So Michael, what advice do you have for B2B startups trying to identify their true addressable market and get early traction?
Micro-targeting, continuously adapting to where the product market fit is. The product market fit is the most difficult thing to get. And unless you try and error, the moment you start to see good accounts, start to multiply those accounts into lookalikes, because the moment you do that and you can see it can be repeated, then you're on track to product market fit. If it's completely random what you do, then you have a long road ahead of you. But the moment you start to get traction within 2 or 3 accounts that is similar, and then start to replicate that to another 20, 30 accounts, and that you get, traction with, a high percentage of that, you starting to carve out the niche where you are starting to get the traction, the early adopters. And then it's a question of how big is that market and what's next after those early adopters and so on. But and you need the founder in there. Yeah. The founder needs to be part of that. The founder, there's nobody that can transition from what he hears or she hears on a call with a prospect to what the product should look like. And having that process, you cannot hand over to sales. I see too many founders believing that, I get sales done by hiring sales. No, you get sales done by engaging with the market yourself. Mm-hmm. And once you understand product market fit, once you get to product market fit, then you can turn around, because then you have something to give to sales, which is, here's the target market, here's the message, here's the problem we solve, and then get inbound, getting outbound for that. So they get the leads they work on that fit that messaging. That's the only way forward. And I see too many that's but I came out of engineering. Yeah, there's no way around it.
Mm. So can we talk about growth a little bit, Michael? What challenges have you faced in growing Ocean, and how did you overcome them in your?
We were early to the market with a solution nobody was looking at. We were the hammer, where's the nail? Right. And because nobody was looking for what we had in the early days, and especially not in Europe. So the first thing we did was that Europe was not the main market for us. It was the US, because US is way ahead of Europe in this respect. That was the first realization. The second realization is, when you do something, and it was actually OpenAI that taught us that lesson. Because we tried to do a landing page, and we did it for a couple of years, that described why we were different. Then OpenAI came along 3 years ago, and then with ChatGPT, they just gave you, the user, the ability to just use it. Mm-hmm. And within 10 seconds, and I do not kid you, you got what this was about. Because once you prompt and you got the answer back, the penny dropped. And then we said, okay, let's do the same thing. Let's put our entire product backend onto our landing page, on our front section of the landing page. And just key in your best performing customer and see the lookalikes. That means no barrier of entry, no form to fill out, no gated entry, nothing. Just go ahead. Okay? And that was the best move we ever did. Yeah. That put us on the map. Because within the same seconds, people got it. And they got it like this. And it's like, whoa, because what they saw in that list was actually, wow, that is exactly the ones I'm actually trying to target. And here's the other 6, 8, 20, or 300 accounts that I didn't even realize was there. Yeah. And so the whole value perception was created overnight, instead of sitting there and say, yeah, we do this and we do this and we do that. They don't care what you do. They don't care whether this is mathematically correct. What they care about is the end result. Show them the end result. No barrier. And get marketing out of this. Marketing wants to have you to fill out forms like there's no tomorrow. You know, your dog's name, the date of birth of your mother, whatever these forms are
Date of
like
birth of
this.
your mother.
Yeah, exactly. But it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Why would I do that?
Yeah.
I want to see if, remove the barriers. Don't think about barriers. If there's interest, they will engage.
Mm.
Yeah. Don't force them through a dedicated in order to capture as much as possible. No, you will capture it the moment you show value. They will be with you.
Mm.
Yeah. But you need to establish that value first. Then they will engage.
Yeah.
Rethink the whole thing. Yeah.
Yeah, you said so many good things there. You use the KISS acronym. I don't know if you've heard of it. Keep it super simple. Or keep it simple, stupid, or keep it simple, superstar, whatever people say. But keeping it simple is the key. And you have definitely taken that. So you've seen the challenge and you're like, and many people will overcomplicate the challenge. And I think that's what a lot of founders, business owners need to look at. And I love that you brought this up because it's the first time I've kind of heard this take on it. And I've interviewed a lot of people for this podcast. So I appreciate this take on it, is that go back to the basics and keep it simple. What is the challenge that you're having and how do we break that barrier? Less is more, right? Don't overcomplicate it. We don't need all of those steps because when I was in the coaching space, we're not in that anymore, but when I would tell them, I'm like, your client has we have the attention span less than a goldfish now. It's less than 4 seconds. You've got to get them in a matter of when they come on, you've got to get them. If you don't, they've moved on. And it seems like you've really hit that nail on the head to be able to help your clients see the result in a moment. And you also made a really key point is they don't care about all it took you. How many years it took you to get here, all of the, technical things that it took you to get here. They don't care about it. They don't care about the steps they're going to take to get to that transformation. They want that result. Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, because the founder, issue is that, the founder could, is that you want to talk about your product. You want to talk about how great it is.
It's your baby. Yeah. It's your baby, right,
It's your
Michael?
baby.
Ocean's your baby.
Get it. Move on. Put it in front of them. Yeah. Do me a favor, and the audience as well. Go into the next 10 SaaS companies, click on that, book a demo, and see how elaborate the barrier it is to get to that demo. And why do you have to do a demo in the first place? Why can't I just get access to it? And, is it so complex that I can't figure it out by having a really good onboarding session? Right. Onboarding can be done by AI today. Why is it that I need to talk to someone as a person to do this? It's like, I don't believe, this is so yesterday and it's changing. And I fully understand that it's giving the CMOs anxiety because the playbook they had is gone.
Yeah.
It's gone. It's completely changed. Yeah. And you need to look at that landing page in a whole different way. Put it out there. We are launching a whole new landing page where we put our entire API out there. And before you can blink, we'll have the whole MCP access to our direct to our backend, where you can start to prompt in, I'm looking for this, this, and this, in order for you to understand how this works.
Yeah.
Amazing. My CTO is going to kill me if I announce this on this. But it's
he's gonna come to me and go, we need to edit that out. No.
Yeah, we edit that out. No, we don't. No, we don't.
No, we don't. We get to be real, raw, and true.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yes,
because it's gonna you have to show what you can do, and you have to show as much value back to the goldfish.
Yeah.
What is my attention span is 3 seconds.
Yeah.
If somebody calls me and
says,
"Hi, Michael, how are you doing today?" Bang. Bang. Yeah. Isn't there a more intelligent thing you can do? Yeah.
I love this conversation. So Michael, let's talk more about your growth in marketing and visibility. So how are you getting in front of what has worked for you? What hasn't worked for you? We'd like to see both sides of the coin on this. You've been doing this, you've tested a lot of things. You're not afraid to test and, things don't work, move on. Like I can see that in you. So can you share, how are you getting in front of your ICP? We've talked about who your ICP is. Now, how are you staying in front of them and how are you differentiating yourself? How are you creating that blue ocean, no pun intended, versus the red ocean?
Yeah. First of all, I fired the entire marketing department.
Okay.
That was my first step. Then I hired a good influencer coach that could get the influencers onto this. And they started to create influencer audiences for something, and Twitter and or X is it called now, TikTok as well. And if you have a really cool product and if it shows well, the influencers, the leaders in influencers wants to, the Jordan Crawford, those kind of guys, they want to talk about you. And you just have to cater to it. That's what paid the whole thing. We didn't pay for it. It was giving them all the content they want and everything else. And and that's how a small company out of Copenhagen, very small company, would create mind share in the US. Ocean.io is a really well-established brand now. People knows it, its quality, everything else. But we did that through influencers. And that created the inbound. We have, very fortunate, a very easy URL, Ocean.io, everyone can remember. We branded the URL as the brand name as well. And that is, you see a post on Ocean.io, you go straight to the landing page. I had a marketing guy that tried to convince me that we had 97% organic traffic on our landing page, that could not be, because that's only porn sites or gambling sites that has that. That he tried to convince me that there must be some secret sauce. Then we did the entire attribution. It took us 2 days, entire attribution, and then he left the company. Nothing in his advertising, nothing supported that in the attribution. It was the influencers, and it was that connection with the value. And that brought the whole thing in. And that's how we scaled it up to where we are now. And that, and it's only recently we got Daniel on board, and you spoke to Daniel, I think, on the whole brand marketing and everything else, because now we need to put it into more, organized form. And there's a new landing page coming up and all that. But we literally went down to the roots and said, okay, it's all about getting the influencers to talk about us. That's the advice I can give you.
Yeah.
It worked for us.
So for somebody listening going, influencers, I have to pay them. Are they expensive? Like how did you make that happen?
We don't pay them. We pay them with content. That means we help them create the content. We help them give access to our platform. If you have something that is attractive, they have access to it. They can use it on their own. But so it's more a barter thing that they get access to it. But no, money has never changed that.
So it's a partnership.
It's a partnership.
Yeah.
And right now I'm meeting up with them on a very regular basis, because some of these guys are on the leading edge of things, and we need to listen to it. We need to listen. The whole MCP concept came out of that. That came out of me meeting one of the most influential out of San Francisco, and I sat down with him at Sastra, and which is only 2 weeks ago, and he educated me on here's where it's going, and we turned around and said, okay, let's set up a call. And these guys are influencing our product correctly, product direction, everything else. And once they get that, they have that voice into a company like ours, it goes both ways.
Yeah, amazing. So what's next for Ocean, Michael? What is your North Star for the next, say, 12 months or so?
What do I believe is going to happen to the CM systems? I believe that a lot of intelligent companies are going to build the layer on top of the CM system. The CM systems is basically going to be a glorified database on transactions, but the actual layer that sits on top of the CM systems is going to be where the intelligence is. That's where they're going to be dynamic processing based on transactional understanding. That is happening as we speak right now. You have companies like Copy AI and Warmly and the common room, and all these guys, they are building that. What is common for all these companies is that they are actually integrated directly into this into the CRM system. We have the ability to do clustering. That means we can actually do in the lookalike, we can reverse that algorithm into the close one. Mm-hmm. That means, and we're starting to implement this across a lot of our customers. That means the ability to tell their customers the clusters of best performing ICPs. And that is what we help them do. And in order to do that and constantly do intelligent lead scoring, anyone who has tried to use HubSpot lead scoring understand how bad that can be. Okay, I think we need to move the needle a little bit here into dynamic, intelligent AI lead scoring, and that is where we are going with this. And the companies love it, and I think we only seen the tip of the iceberg. And I think this is where we would love to bring it in. Then at the same time on people, do the same thing as you sold to this company and you sold to these personas in the company, and start to understand the dynamics of that. So who is it you are not talking to, you should talk to? That means if you have this ICP, and within this ICP, within these close one, you'll actually talk to these, all that sits in this CM system. It sits there. Yeah. And then you're now engaging with the same ICP. Who is it you're not talking to, you should talk to? Okay, we can map that out for them. So all these things. So I think this is where this is going over the next 6, 8, 12 months.
So if I could give you a magic wand, Michael, and you could wave it over one thing right now that you'd like to go poof and take it away that could hold you back from achieving those goals, what would that be and why? Do you have one?
Yeah, obviously, being able to stand on a big stage and actually describe this, because I think a lot of people are struggling with what to do. And I think they don't understand the treasure trove of data they have in their CM system. Treasure trove of transactional data mapped to close won, mapped to close lost. Once you put that into a normalized form and you can actually start to analyze it, then they'll be surprised what they get out of this. Mm. Look at what they did in B2C. We have not even scratched the surface in B2B with that understanding of behavior, transactional behavior. And I think we are getting there now. I think I see a lot of smart people out there starting to do that, but they need the ability to normalize the database, because unless you do that, I know I talk data science terms here, but unless you do that, it's a bunch of corrupt data.
Yeah,
it needs to be put into perspective, and that's where we would like to help them on.
Well, one last question for you, Michael, before we get to how people can find you, but you make it so easy. So it's easy to find you, which is fantastic. I know, Ocean.io, for those of you watching us on YouTube, which we're going to get to, you should have already been on it. If you have not been watching us on YouTube and you already haven't been on Ocean.io, what are you doing? I know that this conversation is amazing, but what are you doing? You need to be on there already trying this tool out. So Michael, if we could bring you back in a year and revisit this conversation, and hopefully it would be easier to get you here than it's been the last month or two or whatever, trying to get you here and us navigating a lot of things. But again, magic happened today because of that. It all happens for a reason and in perfect timing. If we could bring you back in a year and revisit this conversation, what would success look like for you in Ocean.io?
That we have not just the 50 we are doing it with right now, but we're doing it across the board. We are in there enabling them to do smart solutions, smart agents. You know, I saw a LinkedIn article the other day, which I absolutely agree with. Salesloft, all of them has brought out gazillion of agents. Okay, they're all doing the same thing, but they all work on unintelligent data. Mm. Imagine if they start to work on intelligent data, then you can do forecasting. Then you can actually do intelligent forecasting based on behavior, present behavior and previous behavior, and actually all these things. So 12 months from now, you will see all this, and you will see that is really starting to take off. The whole thing is going to split into those who really gets it and those who are just trying to put an LLM wrapper around stale data. It's the whole market is splitting into right now.
Amazing. So, Michael, I don't think it's very hard for you to share how to find you, but can you share with us and our audience how they can find you, how they can learn more about you and Ocean?
Yeah, obviously go to our landing page or engage with me directly on LinkedIn. I'm always responding. And I'm actually responding myself, so I'm really engaging there, and obviously engaging with our platform, and then go in and engaging directly with us. We're always there. We're not there to demo you. We're there to have a conversation about how we can help you. That is how we run this thing. Demoing, go on the system, learn, because this is much easier. It's not that complicated. And then once you really understand what it can do for you, then engage with it.
Amazing. So go to ocean.io, go connect with Michael on LinkedIn, Michael Heiberg. We will have all of his links and everything in the show notes. If you're watching us on YouTube, you can see ocean.io and Michael in his full glory on YouTube. If you're not there, then go check us out there. And there's a button on our YouTube page that says subscribe. We would love for you to click that and subscribe to the channel, because that allows us to let you know when we have more amazing guests like Michael here today, sharing his wisdom, sharing his products, sharing his service. To help you grow. The goal of this podcast is solely to flip the stat on the companies that are closing doors versus those that are staying open. I would like to see that stat flip in the next few years. So, and that happens by you subscribing and also sharing. If you know somebody that is building a business, scaling a business, and they could use ocean.io and Michael's wisdom, please share Michael and ocean.io with them. If you're listening to us on your favorite podcast platform, Apple, Spotify, Amazon, iHeartRadio, and you can leave a review, we'd love 5 stars. That helps us push content like in this episode out with Michael to more people to help them grow their business and succeed. I promised y'all a gift, so I'm going to make sure that you get that right now. If you're looking to grow your visibility and you've been trying different things, Michael shared what's worked for him and what hasn't worked for him. If you feel like you're throwing spaghetti at the wall and you want to change things up, then go ahead and download our free Spotlight to Scale blueprint. You can go to spotlighttoscale.com/blueprint and grab that. It's free. It's yours. Take advantage of it. Last but not least, go back to ocean.io. Go make sure you play around in there, have some fun, learn what they can do for you in your business, and go connect with Michael on LinkedIn. As you heard here, he's pretty amazing. He's pretty amazing, and he'll talk to you in the DMs. So thank you, Michael. What?
You make me blush.
Making you blush. If you're watching us on YouTube, you can see him turning red. No, it's awesome. Michael, is there anything that I haven't asked you or that we haven't touched on that you want to close out with or share before we wrap?
No.
We did it all.
But I think we did it all. But to the audience, I'd say embrace the change.
Right.
Don't fear the change. Embrace it. The more you embrace it, the more you're part of it. And if an old guy like me can do it, you can do it. Okay?
You're not old. You're just getting started, Michael. Just getting started.
I know.
Well, thank you, Michael, so much for being here. This has been an honor and a joy. Thank you for the patience of us navigating this process of getting here. Thank you all for listening to Michael and I today. And we look forward to seeing you on the next episode of the Business Growth Spotlight.